And 3, 2, 1, we are back dating Millennial. Today is Friday, August 21st, 2020. I'm Dr. Kohler. With me, Mallory Weiss, PA. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, follow us.
Y'all
If
will.
if you have something you want to talk about, DM me, DM the show. Just
We
give
are
it to me.
professionals, so if you have anything you need advice on, we're your go-tos.
I am an unofficial doctor, so my opinion is, sought after quite a bit. So yeah, DM us if you have any, not just relationship, maybe you have friendship issues, maybe you have parent issues,
All kinds of.
maybe you don't know what to do professionally. Just go ahead and shoot it at me, and if it's good enough, I'll let it on. If not, I'll tell you that's a stupid question. No ad reads. I do have to mention that I am not sponsored by Kohler. Kohler is actually my first name legally. Let's get right into it, Mal. Dating updates.
Dating updates. Do you want to go first?
You've been busy. I haven't.
I've
Let's
been
hear
busy.
it.
Well,
Let's hear
our
it.
last episode, we talked about Gum Guy and what a fucking mess that was. A few updates
Oh,
with
gum guy.
Yes, if we recall from last episode, he left me that crazy voicemail and like a ton of messages. Actually, the next day after we recorded, he asked me, like, he called me again and I ignored it, obviously. And he was like, Valerie, I just want to talk and like get an explanation. I was like, background, I've talked to this man for literally 10 days. There's nothing that needs to really be said or an explanation, I think. But I was like, okay, I'm at a friend's house. I can call you back later. And he replied,
Oh.
like, oh, you can't go step outside for 5 minutes. Ha. He gave me a ha. And I was like, no, I'm busy. I don't owe you an explanation. And then I told him like he can call me the next day, and he said he would, and then he never did. So I think we can put Gum Guy to bed. But what a weirdo, right?
Theoretically. Put him to
Theoretically.
bed.
Ugh,
Put him to bed
fuck.
theoretically.
Fuck.
Not go to
But
bed with him. Yeah, no, gum guy out. Questions from day one. Red flags kept going from there. Don't be a gum guy. Now we have a new guy, spaghetti guy.
Spaghetti Guy. Spaghetti Guy's going
Spaghetti guy.
strong.
We're just running through him here. Spaghetti guy might actually be a keeper.
I think he might be a keeper. Things have been going well. It's a little weird because he did go to my high school and my undergrad, and now we live like really close to each other. So I've known him for literally a decade, and now we're just like kind of exploring the dating realm. So it's a little weird transitioning from being acquaintances and friends to more, but it's going well, I would
Those
say.
are always weird. Breaking out of the friend zone, my friend. Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. I've tried that many of times and failed.
Many.
Many of times. The most recent one hurting the most. Anyways, my dating life, I literally haven't talked to anybody in like the past 2 weeks because I've just been working. I work a good probably 100+ hours a week, I would say right
You've been
now.
on the grind. When we have our weekly phone calls, you tell me your day-to-day itinerary. I don't know how you have time to just like be alone. You're just always on the move.
Yeah. Yeah, I work 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday. I go to the gym. I play piano for an hour a day.
Whoa, what?
I work on this website probably the most out of anything.
I didn't know
Constantly writing.
piano.
Yeah, I play piano.
That's hot.
I know.
Hmm.
Movie reviews, album reviews, writing jokes. It's exhausting. I don't have a lot of time for a lot of stuff, but
You're
it'll be
better
worth
than
it.
yourself, and those will fall into place.
Yeah, I mean, we're in quarantine anyways. I can't go to the bar and that's where I really thrive. So, I mean,
I feel you.
if nobody's gonna if people hit me up, maybe I would. Cause like my roommates tonight were like, "Hey, do you want to go to dinner?" But that was at like literally 30 minutes ago, and I'm like, "Why wouldn't you tell me earlier so I could plan it around?" I'm literally sitting next to one of my roommates all day because we work together, so we sit 3 feet away from each other. I don't know why I wouldn't tell me earlier, but
Mm-hmm.
that's on
So
them.
But you Texas people, can you not go to bars at all right now?
Oh no, you can go to bars, but like, I mean, it's not like the bar scene.
It's
It's
not
like
like our,
it's just like small groups of people around, and I'm not gonna go sit at a bar by myself. So,
I.
because that's sad, and I don't have time to do that. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Well, this is a good time to reflect. I feel like as summer ends, relationships kind of either dwindle or blossom, and we kind of go back into our school is about to start, fall is coming, work mode. So we're all transitioning together, and that's fine.
Yeah, football season's coming. That's gonna make me more busy.
Hmm. Fucking
Guys, you want
flex.
to or girls, you want to get in a good relationship? Start watching football. That's where all the good guys are.
And I can attest to this. I don't know a ton about football, but I'm always in Dr. Kohler's football league. And even though I kind of don't know what I'm doing, and he helps me with my draft every single year,
Just be interested.
whenever I meet men and I tell them, I even like breathe the word fantasy football. I swear to God, every guy within a 10-meter radius of me stops what they're doing and go, "You know how to do fantasy football?" And like, it's a game changer.
Yeah,
You
you
can
don't even like
you can just memorize two football players' names. You're golden.
you don't have to be good. You can pick the guys based off how hot they are. Like it doesn't matter as long as you just show some interest and you're willing to just sit down and watch, a game.
And like, if you got your own team and you're just rooting for them, kind of
Yeah, once
fun.
you get invested, if you really want to get invested, start gambling on it. That's how I get invested into anything. You can invest in NASCAR at gambling. But like yeah, just
Life pro tips. I love it.
find a team, just be like, okay, this is my team. Watch every game, pick one player, pick the goddamn quarterback, be like, this guy's attractive, and then just know that
Well,
he went to the University of Cincinnati, and then just guys will just like you because of that. Like you don't even need to like
yeah,
be interesting
you can
anymore.
memorize the same two fun facts about one football
Yeah.
player repeatedly on different men, and they'll like jizz on the spot. It's like clockwork. It's so
And it could
easy.
be like the easiest thing. You could literally just look up something that happened last year and be like, that guy ran for 1,000 yards last year. And the guy will get a boner over that.
He'll
So
dribble. Oh yeah, yep. This
there's a
is some.
little there's a little cheat code for you.
Oh yeah. But then the problem is, this is how you get men. But then if you want to keep them, you're gonna have to keep up with it.
Sports are just like it's something that brings everybody together, and you should just naturally it should be easy to enjoy because you can do it while you drink and eat. So like it's not hard to do.
I agree.
You don't even need to know the rules.
I don't know. Here I am.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, you still would sit at the bar with us on Sundays and watch, which is
Hmm.
impressive because I mean, it's easy. All I gotta do is eat wings and drink beer, like,
Anyone can do it.
and then listen to all your guy friends tell jokes because guy friends are hilarious.
And
It's a
that is how you
fact.
one with the guy gang and you become one of those girls with guy friends and your life becomes infinitely easier and more fun.
Yeah, penetrate the friend groups.
Penetrate, not a good enough reason to use the word penetrate.
What is it? Find the dealers, infiltrate the suppliers. 21 Jump Street. That's what I do with you. I start hanging out with you, and then all of a sudden, there's all these hot girls around. Easy peasy, lemon
And
squeezy.
about you, we like we're best buds and then you're just always
Yeah.
around hot.
Same with guys. Other way around, guys. You want to get in with a girl group? Maybe like be willing to go get a pedicure one time.
Mm-hmm. Which is
First off,
so like gay or not masculine. It's just good foot hygiene.
it's good for you. It feels good. Like it's cool. Girls will be like, "Oh wow, that guy is willing to." Like, who cares? Like, if
People are sleeping on good hygiene like that. Like
I know.
facial foot rubs and shit. Like it's good for you. Like indulge.
Yeah, guys, if she's willing to watch Monday Night Football with you, watch the fucking Bachelor every once in a while. It's a good show, anyways.
It really is a good show.
You don't have to get into it and be like, oh, this is so like these girls are so smart because the girls aren't the guy. People on the show aren't smart. You can still make fun of people on a show that you're watching. Jersey Shore, those people made millions of dollars being made fun of. So
It's
like,
fun to watch these shows to be like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm watching this show, and you make fun of it, but like it unites you because you know you're above them, but it's still entertaining.
exactly, exactly. Little pro tips there.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I don't know
sorry,
how we got
that was a
it,
ramble out of nowhere.
but I think that was some good unethical
That's
life tips.
good.
You guys are fucking welcome.
That's good. That's good talk right there. All
That is
right.
good.
rolling into a more serious note here.
Yes.
Today we're going to talk about breakups. We're going to talk about what leads into a breakup and avoiding I wouldn't say avoiding a bad breakup, but avoiding wasting your time.
Yeah. We think this is one of the main causes of breakups. So we're going to talk about that first. And then we have some funny breakup stories to kind of lighten the mood. But this is going to be a more serious adult conversation we think you're ready for.
Yeah. Yeah. This is shit's going to get real today. Um so a big complaint that I get cuz I am 26 years old and have had a total of 10 months of relationships to my name. Like serious, I would consider like yeah, I would say serious. Eh, my parents have never really been happy about that. To which I say
About,
I don't.
wait, they're not happy about your relationship
They're
status?
not happy about how I handle things, and they're not happy about how I approach life in general. In that aspect, I would say no. The other aspects, I'm kind of killing it. But um,
You are.
to
Fucking.
that, I would say I'm just more careful. And when we were talking about this, I didn't want to say that I'm non-committal, but I'm more hesitant to commit because
Which
I
is
just
the thing, sorry,
say what?
which is the same thing as being non-committal, just a
It's
different.
close to the same. It's close to the same thing. I'm more hesitant to commit because I am only 26 and I know what I want longer term, and I find it hard to like get balls deep into something that is probably going to go awry.
I
Good word,
agree.
drop
And
awry.
it's hard for us at this age because so many of our peers are settling down that it's almost like this pressure is on us to also do the same. But it's slim pickings out there right now, and we're two kinds of people that are happier being alone and don't mind being alone versus being with somebody that we know we don't fucking like that much.
Yeah. And to be honest, as a child of divorce, my main goal with a relationship would be, if I'm going to get married and have kids, to be get it right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want to, I don't want to have to deal with like step parents and all that. Like I get shit happens and it's kind of unavoidable to an extent, but there's ways to limit that. And
There's some warning signs that you can see coming and you should not ignore.
yes. And so here's what I would say. So the reason my parents broke up was my dad was a frat star. My mom was a girl that hung out with frat stars. So she was around the frat house a lot. And they were childhood friends from they knew each other since they were like, 10. But yeah, then they went to the same college. They started dating. My dad was a little older, 2 years older. And then out of nowhere, my mom gets pregnant one day with your boy. And so yeah, then my dad's stuck. And then they end up moving to Vegas a couple months later, get a divorce. I'm not going to go too much into that. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't meant to be, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were good friends, but like it just went too fast. They weren't married, they didn't plan it, they didn't, all that. So it just didn't work out. And that's honestly what I would want to avoid. And also saying my dad had me when he was 26. So to think of me having a kid right now is
Mm-hmm.
batshit insane. So I
Yeah,
wonder what he was thinking.
my parents were married and had my first sister at 23, and I'm 25. Not even like at all in a committed relationship.
Yeah, like I mean, I feel like your 20s should be where you're really like experiencing things and living it up, and then maybe you start considering your 30. I think I got another decade of single in me, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
And I almost wonder, you know how there's so many, like the divorce rate is so high? It's because the generation that had us was pressured to like do the same thing, to get married and have kids at a young age before they were ready. But our population and generation now is more accepting to not doing that. So I wonder if like when we're older, the divorce rate's gonna like be so low because we waited or we just
Yeah.
didn't do.
And that's the same thing. There is that pressure with certain families where it's like, oh, you gotta, go to college, graduate college, find a
Mm-hmm.
wife, get the house, get married, have a kid, have another kid. Kid goes to college, and it's like, by that time, get a shitty sales job out of college, which
Mm-hmm.
is, all that scares me. But I mean, why wouldn't, okay, so here's my thing. Um, I have had opportunities to seriously date girls here in Austin, but honestly, I don't know how long I'm going to be in Austin. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know if this comedy thing's going to take off. I don't know if I'm going to put all my money into it and I'm going to burn out, and then all of a sudden I'm a loser, and then, all of a sudden I'm back at square one. I don't know if I'm going to make it big and start going on tour. I don't know if, there's so many variables to where I'm at right now, because I'm not going to work this job where I'm making a lot of money right now. I'm not going to do it forever because
Mm-hmm.
it's not fun. It's not what I enjoy. It's literally hell almost every day. But anyways, so why would I bring a girl into that, knowing that next year I could be moving to New York City or
Mm-hmm.
LA or
Yeah, it would also be selfish of you to do that knowing that you're not going to stay here. And like
yeah,
girls in Texas, I feel like that population or that like demographic is very marriage forward. Like the guys already have like funds for wedding rings. Like the South is kind of just like that, correct?
yeah, I mean it is, and I mean there's plenty of guys to choose from. Believe me, these girls will be fine. But it's I don't want to commit to something for a year and a half to 2 years and then be like, well, see
Mm-hmm.
ya. Because I think I would choose what I want over a relationship right now, especially in these next 10 years or so, because I think this is where it's really going to get big. And um, so yeah, I kind of made a tier list of what you should look for um, when you're looking for somebody long term.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I would say compared to the past 5 years, I'm more not even 5 years, from the age of starting to date to 23 or 24, not even a question. I did not want to date anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And there was somebody that I naturally dated, and that ended poorly. We'll talk about that here in a second. But I mean, I didn't want anything to do with it. College, I was fuck boy
Yeah,
fuck
most
boy
men
2015 or whatever year it was.
if men go to college, they're not like 99% aren't looking for a long term. They're looking to go to bars, to go to parties, to hook up, play the game, and it's fun. That's what
Yeah.
they want.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I did. And that, I mean, in my opinion, that's what most people should do. I mean, if you got something good, stick with that. But if not, you're just wasting your time straight up. So yeah, so probably was it within the past 3 years, I would say that I would seriously start considering dating a girl if she was the right girl that wanted the same things according to this tier list. Is there anything else you wanted to throw in before I get into this?
No, I think you're onto something. All I wanted to reiterate was that our age group is really good. Like our parents probably don't understand, but we're putting ourselves first, and I think it's awesome that we're waiting. And there's nothing to be ashamed of by not putting all your eggs in one basket at this point.
There you
So
go.
I'm curious to see your list here. Let's hear it.
Okay, so this is kind of how in my brain it breaks down. And I'm not saying by any means this is 100% correct, because I mean, I'm sure there's probably going to be somebody that would argue this with me, but and I'm sure there's probably people on the internet that are going to call me a sexist pick. But okay, here we go. So when I think about, and I'm going to use myself as an example because that makes the most sense to me. So I'm thinking about, what do I want in a long term relationship, because I'm not going to date somebody just to date somebody. That's just straight up,
Yeah.
for me,
There's
not
people
even
out
worth
there
it.
and those are people that just can't be alone and need attention. It's not
Yeah.
someone that's looking for a meaningful, lifelong thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not that guy. If I'm gonna be in something, I'm gonna be in something 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, the first tier and the first way you meet people or talk to people is, are they attractive physically? Physically,
And
is this
that's
person?
biological. There's nothing that's got to be first for everybody. The first thing you do when you see somebody is you just take in their general appearance and you're like, you can't help it. They're hot or they're not.
Yeah. Physically, are you attracted to them? Are you like, I want to jump her bones, which is an outdated term, but I still like it. Are you attracted to them? And then once you start to get to know them, this is the inside circle. Next circle, I should say.
Oh,
Well, I mean, in my mind, it's like a circle and then a smaller circle inside, and then a
like a
smaller.
hell kind of.
Yeah, I don't know why that's how it is in my brain, but that's how it works.
Yeah.
And so the next next tier would be their personality. Do your personalities click? Does she get your jokes? A lot of people don't get my humor sometimes because it takes a while to get. Sometimes because it's very sarcastic and dry. So sometimes you don't know when I'm joking, and some girls
I,
just get it.
I've for 5 years.
Yeah, and I want a girl that's funny, that can give and take, that I can like take jabs at, and she won't get overly offended at, because all of my friends, I'm gonna take jabs at you. If I don't take jabs at you, you're probably not my friend. So take that in a mental note too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if I feel like I can't, be myself around you, then there's no reason for us to even keep going down this
Yeah.
road.
And like just as quickly as you notice if you're attracted to somebody, your first layer, communication follows right after. Like that includes verbal and physical body language, like just you vibing with someone. That's again like right away, you know, if you can comfortably talk to them or if they're like weird and awkward. That's like a instant
Yeah.
thing.
Sometimes it just, sometimes you guys don't click, and you're like, yes. So like, what do you major in? And they're like, I've been graduated for 5 years, and you're like, oh shit. And then you're just like, all right, do you like movies? And it's just
Just
like really weird. It's like, I say a lot of weird out there shit, and sometimes girls are just like, is this guy mentally handicapped? And I have that level of sarcasm where it's like, maybe I am, maybe I'm autistic, I don't know. um Anyways,
we're
uh
still
yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can even say that, but I did. The next tier or inner circle, I would say, is what are your wants and needs long term?
Ooh.
So like, what do you want, like, me long term? I want to make this podcasting thing, this comedy thing. I want to get bought out by Barstool Sports. I want Dave Portnoy to call me right now and be like, I'll pay you 30 grand to come work for Barstool. I'll do that. I don't give a shit. Um And so, like, I want to be in a lifestyle where I'd be traveling probably a lot. I would
Mhm.
be talking to a lot of people. I'd be more higher profile. I would,
Yeah,
probably
and
more on the.
this is your third tier and it's very important to you. This isn't something that's like compromisable. This is
Yeah, this
something
is this is we're
like
getting into
got
like 6
people.
months to a year of dating.
Mhm.
This is probably where you want to be, like, defining these things that you want long
Wait,
term.
you said you want to define these 6 months in. You is when you would
I mean, like
define.
I'm not saying 6 months exactly. I'm saying like 6 months to a year, like, in that range. I'm not saying like 6 months have a dinner and be like, this is what I want to need. I'm saying like,
Hmm.
over that 6 months to a year period, like, you need to start having more serious conversations about where you want to go in life,
I would even argue you should do it sooner. Like 6 months is kind of a long time, you know? Like
or
you
even
would,
sooner than that.
yeah, because
So like,
like third tier, like that's important and
I'm
like
talking
that's
like, I'm saying like, I guess I'm thinking of like from the time you meet somebody to the time.
okay, yeah,
Like, I'm not saying like the day you date. Like, I'm not saying like from the first
yeah,
date to your 6 month
not per
anniversary.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess yeah. Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, I would say, like, define what you like. Do you want just the White House and your husband to work 60 hours a week at his sales job and then come home and then you guys, make dinner and then watch New Girl? Is that what you want? If that's what you want, then cool. That's
Hmm.
probably not what I want. I get sick of that after a week.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
everybody wants different things though. And then I would say the last tier or circle, this one isn't as well thought out now that I'm looking at it, um, is personally the direction you're going in.
That difference.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking now. But it's I wrote all this in 5 minutes. So what I would say here is, if you guys have the same wants and needs, but one of you's more driven or
Motivate. I would
after,
say the same thing you were. We're on the same page.
yeah, if one of you's, this is where you should, if one of you's more driven,
Hmm.
if there's like things that you don't like that this person does that you aren't going to be happy with long term.
Hmm.
And some of this could be nitpicky, some of this could be like actual issues. Like, to me, if I'm coming home every day and everything's a mess, and then they're just chilling, not doing anything, I would be like kind of pissed.
Yeah.
you know
100%. Hmm.
I have a certain way that I like everything around me to be. So I mean there's different things for different people here, but
Yeah, but I think a good difference between those last two is that a lot of people have wants and like dreams and goals, but then they just those are goals that don't go anywhere, and they talk about it like, oh, like I'd love to move to California, and then you bond with somebody like, oh, me too, I love that atmosphere, but neither of you are really going to do it. It's just
yeah,
something you put over, and then you're fine not doing it. But then there's a difference in that fourth layer of someone like, okay, no, we talked about how we both like this, but I'm actually going to do it. And
yeah,
then if you
it's like,
don't,
are you on board?
yeah, and if you're not, then that's, I mean, it doesn't matter how long you got along well. Like if you're not on the same board at that point.
And this is kind of in that general a general rule I would say is, you should live together at least for a year before you get married, because this
Mm.
is probably where that kind of stuff's going to come out.
Oh yeah, I think that transition from dating to roommates is huge, and everyone should do it before they do something they regret. Because that's when you
Yes.
see true colors.
Yeah, that's when you see, I mean,
I mean, that's when friendships end. Like I've lived with friends that I can't stand them. I don't want to hang out with them because I see them all the time and I hate the way they treat the house. So like if that happens with friends,
yeah, then I mean you can really get like a feel of if somebody's actually thoughtful and like genuine and like, or
mhm.
just a slob and
Yeah,
you
like
know
how they take care of themselves, 100%.
yeah. So I mean that's a big step. So that's kind of how I would define it. And then breaking up, I would say, major issues that you have or see, you should bring those up like probably immediately,
Hmm.
when you see them,
If
to
you
at
see,
least talk them out. Because if it's such a red flag that, or a deal breaker that you can't live with it, then you
hmm.
probably want to, you know, to me, the biggest issue with people, I shouldn't say people, the biggest issue with people in relationships that go on for too long is just the constant fighting and bickering, instead of just breaking it off, or talking about it, talking it out, and being like, okay, this isn't going to work, this is going to work, and moving on with your life. Because there's people that go through like year long plus breakups, and that's
Hmm.
such a waste of time, and it seems so exhausting to go through
Yeah,
that.
for those two people and their friends have to hear about it, their family, and it's like just break it off. Like I feel like
Yeah, you had
people
that one friend, you're like,
act
oh my
like,
god, shut up.
yep. I feel like going back to your like your tears, it's like people get the first two, and I get it. It's sometimes hard to find someone that meets the first two. So when you do after a long hiatus, you're like you really want to make it work, but those two things are only half the wheel. So if you're getting to the third and you keep fighting over the same things, but you try to move past it and ignore it because the first two were there, you're just delaying the inevitable, you know?
Exactly. Delaying the inevitable. It's like people know it's not going to work, but still like try and force it to work, and it's not going to work, but like, and
Mhm.
then that's how you get accidental kids.
Yeah, then they
and
bring kids in because they think that's going to somehow fix things and change
and
people's
that's the
ideas. But
worst.
people are simple if you think about it. We have our goals and ambitions, and I mean, things like that are huge life changing events, but it's not going to change the underlying person.
Yeah, you just got, I mean, it's just got to link up, in a certain.
Yeah. So I think what we're saying to our listeners is you need to be open communication and not be afraid to say what your goals are because we're all adults here. We're all in the same dating game. If we're not being open and honest, then you're just shitting on yourself and
Exactly. Get
yeah.
more reps, get more people, get more reps. um Sorry,
Hell
I turn everything into a sports
yeah.
analogy. All right, so yeah, so let's talk about the breaking up process. Speaking of wasting time, cutting it off clean.
Mhm.
Um, I have two because there's only two.
Okay.
Um, but you have more. So let's start with you. Let's just hear some breakup stories, and then
I have some
let's do our breakup stories, and then how we could have handled it better and what we did well.
Well, I think my two breakup stories, I handled it perfect. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I did nothing wrong.
It
First, I
depends
would
on what
like,
you're gonna say right here, but
oh, you'll have
I know one that you handled just awfully.
okay, we'll have to get back to that one. I don't know what one you're talking about, but I would
I
like
know
to
exactly which one I'm talking about. It's the main
I
one.
would like to preface with the dumper versus the dumpy. I feel like everyone only talks about the dumpy because that's what lingers with us. That's what hurts you the most when someone doesn't like you. But breaking up with somebody else hurts as well, especially if it's been a long time. Like you still care about the person, so it is upsetting to see them upset. But my first story is kind of funny. I'll change the person's name. This happened in high school. Um, we'll call him we'll call him Skip. He was technically my first boyfriend, but I don't count.
Was he a dog?
No, they had really poofy hair.
Okay.
My dad called him Muffin Top. We can call him that because he.
I like Skip better. Go Skip. Muffin Top's too much.
So this was in 11th grade. He was technically one of my first boyfriends, but it only lasted like 3 months. Super liked him, but then I saw on Facebook that he kept like instigating arguments with people, and it would be about shit that he didn't even care about or really agree with. He would just do it on purpose because he liked arguing with people, and I didn't like that. So knew I wanted to break up with him. This was in high school. We've been dating for 3 months, and I knew as a young lass that it wouldn't be good to do it over text. So I'd like planned out this date for us to meet at Subway, but I must have been too obvious because he texted me and was like, "Are you bringing me here to dump me?" So I couldn't lie. I was like, honestly, yeah. And I regret even doing this now, but
You're gonna do
he
it Subway?
asked, I was gonna do it at Subway because I didn't
Okay.
want to like go to his house, but I've met his parents at this point. So he like had me go to his house. Neither of us could drive yet. His mom picked me up. So it was me, him, and his mom and their SUV. And I'm like sitting here breaking up with him while his mom is driving us, and I'm telling him
Where
why.
was she driving you to?
Like she picked me up from my house to go to their house, and so we were like
So
sitting in
you
the
were
drive.
driving to his house and you broke up with him in the car ride to his house.
Yes, because he made me do it. Like I wanted to do
And
it
he
somewhere.
did this knowing that you were gonna do
Yeah,
this.
he was like, if you're gonna do it, just do it now. And I was like, okay, how? And so his mom picked me up, and I did it in the car. And I told him why, and he is like crying and arguing, like doing what he does on Facebook, arguing me like, well, I can change, I can do this. And I was like, it doesn't matter, Skip. I just am really not into it. And then his mom is like still in the front seat of the car and is just like,
First off,
honestly,
God bless that lady.
yeah, she was super uncomfortable, but she was on my side. She was like, Skip, just move on. Like there's nothing you can say or do. I spent
Big
a
fan
total
of Skip's mom.
yeah, I spent a total of 3 hours with this guy in his car in his garage. His mom left after like an hour, but it was just him crying on my shoulder, arguing with me. Could not escape. Really awful experience. I don't think I ever told you that story.
You have not. Okay, so let me collect myself.
That was kind of a roller coaster.
First off, Skip's mom deserves an award of some
Mm,
sort of the
yep.
highest order. What a mom! What a mom!
Literally was telling him to stop talking and to just like let it go.
I want to meet this lady.
Yeah.
Second off, I get it. It's high school. I don't really blame Skip. Skip seems like a nice guy. Uh, the whole issue there, I would have just been.
There's a lot to unwrap.
It's just like okay, at that point where he already knows, and you text and you're like, yeah. Then I would be like, okay, I wouldn't get in his mom's car
Yeah.
after that.
He made it such a bigger ordeal than it had to be.
Yeah, a little bit of a drama queen there.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Okay, yeah. I mean, that's just an awkward, weird, like
And I
high
guess
school situation.
yeah, I guess it's not super relevant now because we're all
That'd be
older.
hilarious. That would be a hilarious scene in like a movie.
It was probably one of the top 5 worst days of my life. Like the whole time I was just in the car, like, how the fuck do I get home?
Three.
I had a flip
How,
phone that was like on minutes, so I was like, I don't have any minutes left. I
there's
can't
no
call.
Uber, yeah.
There's no Uber. I didn't know where I was. I was
How
in the
did you
garage.
get home? Wait, how did you get home?
After 3 hours of him crying on my shoulder, we finally walked inside, and his mom dropped me back off.
But it was just you and his mom then?
Then he went inside, and then it was just me and his mom. Yeah.
Did you guys talk at all?
No, not really. It was super awkward. It was basically like an Uber. I sat in the back and she sat in the front, and she was just like, "Sorry that took so long." It's like,
Now I
"Sorry."
love that. I love her even more now. Sorry that took so long. He's really a little drama queen. Oh.
So yeah, worst case scenario.
Okay, the mom wins MVP of that story.
Yeah, but
I
then I
mean, I
had
guess.
a. Go ahead.
Wait,
Sorry.
let me slow down here, bud.
Okay, sorry.
Uh, so mom wins MVP of the story. I would say you handled that pretty well. If it
No,
was
but I should
me,
have. I should have been meaner. I was too young and naive.
yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. It's like high school, like
Mhm.
uh I feel like you handled it pretty well. If it was me after I told him, I'd be like, no, I'm not getting in your mother's car. That's the only place I would have personally drawn the line, but it was really nice of you to go and sit there and like
I mean,
let him do that.
now at this age, I would have said no, but I was like 16 and I felt
Yeah.
bad. I was like very upset,
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I mean you're 16, so it's like whole different
The
world.
world, yeah,
Whole
everything
different
is,
ball game.
yeah,
10
yeah.
years ago I was a different person.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Same person deep down, but different person on the outside. So,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, no, that one I would give you a solid 7 on that breakup.
Are you going to rate my breakups? Okay.
Now I am. I just decided I was. So yes.
Okay. So then the next one, it's funny because they have the same name, but I can't say their names now. So I'll call this one Bo. So he
Love the
was my
names.
he was my one relationship that was like 2 years. Like it was probably my best one. But I knew I wanted to break up with him
Wait,
in
what?
college.
When was this?
This was senior year of high school into freshman year of college.
Okay, so I don't know Bo. Okay.
No, skip Bo, yeah. So
Okay.
I loved him. It was my best relationship, but he was super unmotivated. He flunked out his freshman year of college, and he wasn't even like in a major. I would like bring him job applications and fucking like canned food. Like he just had nothing, and so I like it wasn't working out. So I just did it in person, and he gave me his class ring, and I gave it back. It was super dramatic, but like we
Wait,
had
you
a
break
long.
up with him? You wait. You broke up with him and he gave you his class ring?
No, I should have said this before. Like I had his class ring before as like a couple. I would wear it as a necklace, but when we broke up, I gave it back to him. Like a dear John, like give it back, and like it was emotional and upsetting, but it was fine. But the thing with that one was he kept texting me after we broke up, trying to be friends, and he would be like, Mallory, I'm upset with you because you're not telling me, like, I want to know how your family's doing. I want to know how you're doing. And he didn't understand that you don't do that anymore. Like, when you break up with somebody, you break up with their friends and family too, in a sense.
Hmm.
Are
Class
you
ring
following?
thing's kind of weird, but
Yeah, it was
ok-
cheesy.
yeah, that's okay. So, why did you guys break up?
Like I said, he was
Just because
unmotivated,
he just
wasn't going.
wasn't motivated. That was the whole reason. And then he just wanted to be like he still wanted to be friends with you. Is that what you're saying is the issue?
Yeah, like he would keep texting me and like he was like, I'm upset with you that you're not telling me about how your family's doing and about like what you're doing and like days later, and it's like I
I
just don't think
mean, I can kind of respect that.
what his side.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know if it was like malicious, like trying to get back with you, or like just
No, it wasn't.
honestly.
It's weird to tell someone you just broke up with about your family as if you're Still that close.
That is, I mean, huh. That's interesting. I don't know. I'll give that one an 8. That's a good
I
8.
was gonna ask what that one was.
It
Huh.
didn't take like 3 hours, right?
No, that one was just a 5-minute conversation. But then my last one, I'm curious what you're gonna think of this one. I dated this guy who's a foreigner, and he's here on visa. This is very recent. This was like 6 months ago, and
Okay.
he got locked out of the country and was like stuck in Canada. But I knew I didn't want to date him anymore. But I didn't want to, like, he was stuck in Canada for weeks, so I didn't want to go on talking to him for weeks, knowing I wanted to break up with him. So I just did it over the phone, and he was
Okay.
super nice about it. But is that bad? We dated for like 5 months.
No, no.
No. Oh,
He was
okay.
stuck in Canada.
I know. Everyone's giving me shit that I broke up with him over the phone, but like,
What
what
were you
was I
supposed to
supposed
do? Sit in your room
to
until they got back?
fucking drive to Ontario? Like,
Yeah.
no.
No, that one you get a 9. 7, 8, 9.
Okay, great. I'm
Right
glad
the
I went
board.
in age group. That's great.
That's good. No, that's, I mean, that last one's fine. I mean, I would do it over phone too. Like, how much time are you going to waste sitting on your bed crisscross applesauce, you know?
Story style.
Yeah, just like holding his class ring. That's so weird to me. I mean, that's fine. That happens, you know.
So
5
those are
months
my
isn't that
stories.
long to me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
guess
feel
I
that
don't really have like a measurement in the space-time continuum about how long 5 months is. Only
five
a
months
minute.
like middle school, and now it's like fucking diddly doink.
Yeah. Diddly doink. Good word.
Thank you.
Okay.
Those
Yeah,
are
no,
my
those aren't bad.
thanks.
Didn't even include your worst one, but that's fine.
What are you talking about?
You know exactly which one I'm talking about. So I don't even know why you're trying to act like you don't know which one I'm talking about.
Go ahead and inform our listeners because I really don't know.
It was the one that happened like all throughout college.
Oh,
It was incredibly annoying.
oh, so you're talking about my on again, off again relationship.
Sure, whatever you want to call it.
Those
The one
don't
that
count as
I was somehow got into the middle of, even though I wanted nothing to do with it. Well, I wouldn't say I wanted nothing to do with it. I wanted the best for both of you. But like, here's we should talk about this another time. We'll talk about this another time.
okay. I agree.
Because I was kind of in the middle of it, and I was kind of under fire for being friends of both parties, but I didn't do anything. Like, I was like, okay, well, he didn't do anything wrong to me, and like, obviously you didn't do anything wrong to me, so it's like, why should I really be mad if you both are like in this knowing what you're doing to each other? And I've
Mhm.
told both of you this, and you're still doing it to each other. That's not really anything. That's just literal insanity. So why should I even be a part of that? But
You're
anyways,
like you're collateral damage with breakups. That's another thing about breakups is that
but you shouldn't have
people
to like
can't
pick
have to.
us. Like,
It's just
obviously,
again,
I'm more
being
your
honest.
friend.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm more your friend than his friend, but I can
Hmm.
still be his friend. Like, he didn't
Right.
do anything to me, and it's not like he like dr- drove you to like the woods and then dropped you off and left you there and then like was a total shithead about it. Like, you guys both knew it was going down and still just, it's like
Yeah.
shooting yourself in the foot and then getting mad at me that you shot yourself in the foot. Like,
Right.
I had nothing to do with it. Like, you shot
No,
yourself in the foot.
you're
That's on
completely
you.
right. I guess my point relating it back to our topic today about breakups is that people doing this have to realize there's more than just you two involved. Like you were like you said, you're both of our
Yeah.
friends. You gotta
Everybody's
think
got to hear. Everybody's
about.
got to hear about it. Deal with your shitty
Yep.
mood,
Yep.
and we don't care.
Let's hear about your breakups. What have you got?
Okay. So first one. Uh, so both of my relationships are really loosely defined as relationships. Um, like, I never really like the first one. I never really had a discussion like, okay, we're officially exclusive. It was kind of like, this is my last semester in college. I was older than her. I was a redshirt senior and she was a freshman, so that's kind of
You were
a
a
little
skater boy. She said, "See you later, boy."
bit. No, actually, I think it was the opposite. And I mean, it was just like, I mean, we liked each other, and it started off really poorly, really poorly. I won't get into that. It started off really poorly, and I kind of used that as a joke throughout the whole relationship, and she really hated that. And
Naturally.
then
Oh my God. Who would like that?
I was borderline pretty ruthless looking back on it, and like really a dickhead. But actually the whole situation, because it goes way deeper than that even, but we're not going to get into that right now. So yeah, we were, like 7 months, hooking up. Um, every weekend she was over.
Without like the official label. Like you guys were
Yeah, exactly. We never like had to sit down like, okay, we're official. It was like we were just doing it for a prolonged period of time, and eventually it just became natural. I'd be a liar if I said I didn't actually like her, like, oh, like great person. Um, easy on the eyes, fun to hang out with. Fit in our friend group, was like cool with the guys, could hang out
you
with the
were
girls.
of your layers. Definitely.
Say again?
You were in the first two of your layers.
Yeah, nailed it. Perfect. But again, she was younger, I was older. It came time. It was coming up, leading up into my graduation. I knew after I actually wrote a blog about this. I knew after January of my last semester of college, like heading into my last semester of college, I knew I wanted to get out and I wanted to get started on my professional career and start making actual money and get out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, small town, small college town, and I wanted to go like big time. I thought I was going to work in the NFL, didn't work out. I wanted to go big time and make a bunch of money. And I just kind of decided pretty much the day after graduation I left. So pretty much my parents drove down or flew up for my graduation, and my dad bought me a U-Haul the night of my graduation party. We parked it out front, and then we had my graduation party that night. Next day, I was pretty much packing and getting ready to leave. Um, Now she had 3 more years of college. She's actually still in college right now, this moment.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the long distance thing, I didn't really want to put either of us through. Well, I would say mutually we didn't want to go through it. So I was just kind of like, yeah, this is it. And then we didn't really even have like kind of I pretty much just left.
Mm-hmm.
So she really didn't have like a choice. There was one, like we did kind of talk the next couple months I lived down here. And then I went back for another one of our friends' graduation parties because he graduated in the summer. And then some stuff went down. I guess technically you could say I cheated on her, even though we weren't together. And
Okay,
she was,
see, here's where things get messy because you're like kind of dating and breaking up. So like you were a couple in the sense that you were breaking up, but not a couple in the sense that you weren't cheating on her. So
we
like
were a couple in the sense that we were talking every day, hanging out, like a couple times a week, um, and close. And then I moved down here and we were still talking, a lot. But I mean, I told her we weren't really dating. So I don't know what she was doing with other dudes. She could have been hooking up with other dudes. I never even asked because,
yeah.
technically I shouldn't care. But I did go back to Kalamazoo that summer and she was in town. Granted, I mean, this was probably one of the biggest benders I've ever been on. Like it was bad. Uh, some would say awful. And I was really I was really messed up. But also she was being really difficult. So like that happened. I went to the bar. There was a girl. We hooked up. I went back to her place. Uh, my buddy who I flew back party for, whose party I flew back for, um, told her about all this because he's kind of a shitty friend. But he told her all.
Unnecessary.
Say what?
Unnecessary. She didn't need
I
to know that.
completely unnecessary. So yeah, I wake up to all these. My phone had died during the night too. That's another part of it. But anyways, my phone had died. I go I go home with this other girl because she wanted to hang out at a frat house, and I'm like, I'm not going to a frat house. I'm going to my friend's graduation party at the bar. Like you can obviously get in. I've gotten like, you into the bars plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she didn't want to go. I went home with somebody else. My friend told her. She was mad. And then after that, she just basically, didn't really talk to me ever again, which is fine. Well, I wouldn't say we're still cordial. but
Mhm.
not close at all, is what I would say.
All right, I'm gonna give you a 6
Oh, a
because
6?
yeah, above average because I feel like I don't know if that even warranted a breakup, but at the same time, I think you guys did need to have a conversation before you left. That was more than just I'm leaving because when you came back, it caused issues. Like that tells me that you had something more than just a casual thing.
Yeah. And I
But
mean,
like,
hindsight, I would have definitely sat her down and been like,
yeah,
we had a good
yeah.
run. I don't know what you say in that situation.
Yeah, and this is going back to like our whole theme today is like communication and be upfront. It's not a pussy move to talk about this shit. It's like a mature move,
Yeah. And I
you know.
definitely was not mature at that time. But that's my
We
first one.
yeah.
My second one's less exciting. Um, basically, we started hooking up. I would say we were more defined as a relationship, more defined, not completely defined. Um, she would hang out with me and my roommate, for 3 or 4 months leading into this. And, we would go out, hit the bars. She'd come home with me. I'd go home with her. During the week, I'd go like to her place, make her dinner, whatever. Um, and then she went to tend to her dad who was sick. He was like he was older. So they live up in northern Texas. And she was gone for a month and we were planning on hanging out when she got back. And then she kind of when it came time for when she was getting back, she just kind of ghosted me and I was like, all right, whatever. And then I found out through her.
You, what you did to your other girl, like you left and didn't really
Yeah.
say much, and then she left and didn't say much.
Yeah, I guess I deserved it.
That's some instant karma.
Yeah, whatever. Cool. I did my time. But yeah, she did it. And then through a mutual friend, she's like, yeah, sorry, so and so ghosted you. And I'm like, yeah, no, it happens.
So
Honestly, if
too,
say again.
everyone else knew it was a ghosting too.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. And I was just kind of like, yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't feel anything. I was like, all right,
Yeah. Okay.
deuces.
That's like the best case scenario is that I mean clearly you guys didn't like each other that much because you weren't really upset that nothing else happened or care, and then she didn't feel the need to explain herself when she left or came back. So like that's best case scenario breakup is that you're
Yeah.
both usually like our time is done.
I feel like we're both maybe we were meant to be together. Maybe we were both just so similar that we were both just like gave so little
No,
amount of
that is
fucks.
absolutely not.
No, I
Oh my
don't
god,
know. We were
being married to someone.
personality wise, we were pretty similar.
Okay, imagine being married to somebody where you both don't give a fuck. Like, what would get done
Oh,
in
if
your
I
relationship?
was married to myself, it'd be so annoying.
Exactly. Like
Actually, it would be
nothing.
kind of cool. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, it'd be kind of cool. Like, I'm a cool
No.
guy to hang out with, except for when I'm purposely annoying, like ask purposely annoying questions, knowing that they're purposely annoying. That can be annoying, but
I digress. But no, I think all of our breakups teach us something. I think we all can learn from them and improve, and that's why we're sharing them today. But I feel like this whole episode has one common theme, and that's our dating rule number 3. Do you want to lay it on us, Dr.
good
Kohler?
segue. Good segue. Dating rule number 3: feelings will be hurt in a breakup, no matter what. Um, both ways usually. I would say it's not always both ways. Sometimes one party does not care. Um, either way, but yeah, it. The main thing with a breakup is don't waste your time. I would say it would be the whole this whole episode coming full circle. Like no matter what, somebody's hurt feelings are most likely going to be hurt. So you should break it off sooner rather than later and just be honest and upfront. Like nobody can be honestly mad at you for being honest with them.
Anyone who is mad at you for being honest and telling them you're just not feeling it has their own
Honestly,
issue.
probably not the right person in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's just embarrassing on their part. But like I love your like little circle thing. I think that's so important. I think
The
so many people
tears.
get stuck after the second tier and get stuck there because they think society wants them to do all these things. But our generation and our age group, we're here to tell you you don't need to do that, and you should wait for something that actually matters.
So really, what's the word I'm looking for? The
Synopsis, culmination.
synopsis, culmination of this episode is find someone you actually like. I feel like that's the to cut it the most easy way you could possibly cut it. Find somebody like you actually like, that you like hanging out with on a daily basis, whose wants and needs link up with what you want, who wants to go in the same direction you want, who's, willing to communicate to the level you're willing to communicate, and, don't skip steps, don't force things,
Don't
don't
settle.
randomly, don't settle, don't settle. That's a good one.
Don't settle because everything's pressuring you. Your friends are all engaged. Your younger sister is engaged before you. So what? Wait until you finally like somebody. Be single. Like yourself first.
And don't randomly get pregnant and have a baby. That's awful. That will never work. Not once.
God, that is a great tip. That's good life advice.
Don't just forget to take your birth control.
Get an IUD also.
I don't care what you do.
Pull out method doesn't always work.
All right. Well, I feel like that's a good spot to wrap that.
Yep.
Do you have anything else you want to throw in there?
Nope. I think that was not our most humorous episode, but I think it's very valuable. I think that was
That
some
shit's
great
real,
advice.
bro.
Yeah.
Really real, bro. And so, yeah, this has been episode 3. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, shoot me DMs. If you have something you want us to talk about, air out, if you have a weird situation you're in with a friend or significant other, family member, let me know. We will talk about it. Just slide in my DMs. We won't use your name, obviously. We don't do it with anybody we know. We wouldn't do it with you unless you want to. You can be on the show, maybe. I don't know. Figure it out. But yeah, this has been Dating Millennial episode 3.
Peace out, homies.